Throw a slack, you fucking moron!
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. This is Screen Share, a movie podcast about riding the tube. My name's Adam Cook.
Are we actually starting? That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Calder.
Last week we talked. We're in our animated movies month. Last week we did The Incredibles.
This
Pixar
week
film.
we do Surf's Up.
This week we do Surf's Up. Last week's episode, the energy felt a little off. It's best to address it.
Look, here's the thing. Adam and I were fighting. We had a bit of a spat. Hey, can we put it out there? Hey,
can we put it out there and call it what it is?
Can we call it what it is?
Let's call a spade and call it a spat.
I'm not trying to lie to the people.
Let's call a spat
Adam
a
and
spat.
I were having a bit of a spat. And maybe if
Here's
there's
the
enough backlash from the people, we'll re-record it at a later date and do a better Incredibles episode.
If it's really that bad, yeah.
If it's that, hey.
Or we'll just redeem it by doing an Incredibles 2 episode and not absolutely butchering the episode by both being in a bad mood.
Now, here's what is interesting about this movie that we're doing this week, is it's also a duology.
Yeah, I'm upset that you brought it up.
Now, Surf's Up, let's just give a little context on Surf's Up. Is it okay if I do this? I brought my mic.
What context are you giving here? Like you're doing your research?
Not my research, just what I saw when the movie started.
You talk about your relationship to Surf's Up.
I have no relationship to Surf's Up.
Okay.
Aside from the fact that I'm very interested in the Surf's Up 2 because of the WWE aspect. Because there was that Scooby-Doo thing where they got like John Cena in it or something.
Sure.
So it feels like a strange thing. And I feel like
it is a strange thing. I've seen clips from it, but ever since then, I've tried to avoid any sort of acknowledgement that it exists.
You've got John Cena, Triple H, The Undertaker, John Heater back, Vince McMahon, Saria, just filled to the brim with wrestlers, and 50 points lower in Rotten Tomatoes score. Come on, that's my kind of movie.
Well, John Heater's the only returning cast member as Chicken Joe.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be able to get
anyone else.
Jeff Bridges, or they would want
Shia
back.
Yeah. Mind if I talk about... Okay, so Surf's Up. Originally, I don't know... I forget which episode it was, but in talking about the movies for this month, Calder got a little upset that I replaced the Lego movie with Surf's Up. But I was kind of hoping to do 3 movies Calder had not seen, and 3 movies that are all very, very different. The Lego movie I do think is like a brilliantly animated film, and I think that it's quite good. However, Surf's Up holds a special place in my heart.
And also, like Brad Bird, how we're doing 2 Brad Birds, that would kind of be 2 Lord and Miller movies.
That's true. That's true also. But and I think the Brad Bird doing the 2 Brad Bird movies we did, contrasting those is much more interesting than contrasting the 2.
Yeah, because those 2 movies came out like
within 2 years of each other. Yeah. But yeah, this movie I watched it when I was a kid, and I remember I specifically had McDonald's Happy Meal toys from the promotion of this movie as well.
Makes sense.
I had Big Z and I had Cody.
Those are the 2 you want.
Yeah, those are the 2 you want. And I remember this being the first movie where I was like, my favorite character's the main character, because I liked Cody. But like usually, we've talked about this before. Usually, I don't like the main character as like my favorite character. Usually, I like a side character.
Usually, you like someone who's got a little bit of a perverted side. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. You like perverts.
I'll correct you there and say I don't like perverts would actually be
I think
what
I got
would
it
say.
mixed up.
Yeah,
then.
sorry.
I think I got it crossed.
There, you missed the N''T on that, but that's a common misconception there.
You like perverts?
No, you thought I do like perverts when I don't like perverts.
Oh, sorry. It's just wires crossed.
Yeah, sorry. That was just a miscommunication on there's no one to blame here. We're trying to stay amicable this episode.
Yeah.
We're trying to avoid another buzzkill episode.
We're trying to avoid an episode where it's kind of like, are these two going to kill each other before weekend's over?
And we probably will, if we're being honest.
Yeah, tonight I've got a couple plans.
If we're being honest and earnest.
So Surf's Up.
Surf's Up. I only watched this, I think, like once, maybe twice as a kid. And then I didn't watch it for years and years, but it just kind of always stayed in the back of my mind. And then I rewatched it for the first time probably 2.5 years ago. Just because I was like, I've done this with a lot of movies more recently where I'm just like, I wonder if it holds up. Like, is it just my nostalgia brain or like my kid brain? Because there's been some things I've gone back to where I'm like, oh, this actually kind of sucked.
Name one. Star Wars.
No. I don't know, like, things like Hoodwinked, for example.
Oh, yeah, horrible.
Like, that's absolute garbage.
But that's like the peak of fiction in my mind because of how many times
Sure.
I watched it
Yeah.
and like how young I was.
I remember watching Hoodwinked 2 and it being
Better?
even worse.
Oh.
The animation was slightly better, but it was just as bad.
I mean, that's just a computer though. That's not any skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I rewatched it and it kind of like, I had basically forgotten completely that this is filmed like a mockumentary.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's the part that I was most excited for you to watch. Because I think it brings something really interesting.
I think it was really cool.
Yeah.
I liked this movie. It was pretty fun.
Hell yeah, brother. Cool. Okay. But yeah, I just, in rewatching, it was like, man, I really like it. It's really short. It's like an hour, hour 45? Or no, it's like
hour
an
25.
An hour 25. So it's a short. I feel like it's pretty reasonably
It's CG
paced.
animated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they did some, I don't know, they didn't do motion capture, but they had, like, the actors all in the same room recording their lines, which isn't normal for most voiceover stuff. They usually just, like, have the base run through of the movie and then each actor records along to it by themselves. But like for this one, they actually had all of the actors in each scene recording together, which I think like the Star Wars: The Clone Wars show did. I think like a lot of video games do that as well, especially if it's mocapped. Like they're all on the like mocap stage together, and I think it adds a lot to this movie because it allows them to do really natural sounding dialogue where they're like talking on top of each other. They're like stuttering and apologizing, and it just feels very natural, which really adds to the mockumentary aspect.
Well, because I liked how natural the dialogue was, and then also how natural a lot of the movements were for the characters.
Yeah. And for the camera as well, because they also used like, which kind of blows my mind, because this was like 2006, 2007 when they were making this. It came out 2007. So like probably 2005, 2006, they're making this. And they were using technology where they had the camera, they had a real camera, like in a mocap stage, which like, what's the movie that did that like in more recent years? I forget what.
What do you mean?
Where like they have a camera on a like sound stage, but the camera is showing the CG world that has already been like animated.
Oh, they do that on like Avatar and like
Yeah.
those like huge movies, and they do that with Marvel too, so you can see kind of like, oh, The Lion King probably is the one you're thinking.
Oh yeah, I was thinking like Jungle Book, Lion King,
Yeah.
Jon Favreau.
But with
stuff.
Avatar, they did it as well to show roughly the framing, but like
Yeah, because then you're getting like actual cinematography, like in a digital space. This movie did that probably to a much like more primitive, like
for sure, probably.
sense, but like they did it like way before a lot of those movies did that, and that also adds to the mockumentary thing because all of the like camera movements are very handheld, feel very natural, and like. It's hard to find a shot in this movie where you can go, I don't know if that looks like it could have been captured by a camera crew.
Yeah.
Almost every shot is like, oh yeah, I can see how that's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't like break down in it being a mockumentary.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I guess The Office doesn't really either. But like there are times where you're just kind of like, why are they recording this in The Office?
Yeah.
Whereas with this, it's like they're following people in a competition.
Well, yeah, even when it's not like, oh, this is the documentary crew, then we're seeing it through like the live like ESPN knockoff. I forget what it was. It was like SPBN or something like that. But like we're seeing it through that broadcast footage, and then we'll cut back to the documentary people. But like it always feels like it's like real footage being shot. Even if it's like we get a couple scenes in a row that just feel like a regular movie, then a character will like address the camera at the end. And then it's like, oh yeah, I forgot this is being filmed.
Yeah, it's like they just captured this footage and then they asked for like context on it or something.
Yeah. And the intro to this movie I just love. Like it's starting with like Cody being like, "What? So you're just filming this? Like you're just doing like a documentary about surfing? Cool." He's like, "What's this? What is this?" And they're like, "It's a microphone." He's like, "Oh, cool. Hey, I don't know. It just feels so natural and cool. I love the interviews with his brother and mom. Like,
yeah, I like this movie a lot. This is like really fun.
Hell yeah, man.
It was a lot more because I thought it was just gonna be some like fucking fishtail or whatever, shark's
well, because
tail.
most people see this movie and without like having seen it, they're just like, oh, it's just an animated penguin movie.
Yeah,
because it came out a year after Happy Feet.
And I think they'd make a joke about it too.
Well, yeah, in the first scene, they're like, so you got any other like special talents or skills? And he's like, what, like singing and dancing? Nah, man, I just surf. And it's like that was a fun little dig. But yeah, I also like Happy Feet. And that's the movie that I think I've seen more because I had it on DVD as a kid.
I think it's also just generally more known and popular.
Yeah. But I think like, I mean, I know, but like gradually Surf's Up has like overtaken Happy Feet by quite a bit in my opinion. Because I think Happy Feet has like a lot of things going for it, but like I think that movie does lag a little bit sometimes. It does feel a little long sometimes. But like, I don't know. This movie's just like tight and unique.
Yeah.
It's just very unique
to
me.
So I'm glad you picked this one.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Also, so this guy who made the movie.
Two guys.
Yeah. They didn't really. Well, I'm looking at their IMDb's now.
Yeah.
We've got
Ash Brannon and Chris Buck.
For Ash Brannon, we've got original story by for Toy Story 2.
Yeah. Which is pretty impressive. I had no idea.
And then screenplay by on Surf's Up, screenplay and story by on Rock Dog, based on characters for Surf's Up 2. Arcane story by and written by the League of Legends show.
Oh, nice. That's big, actually.
And then a show called Stoner Cats, where he's the creator, has a story by and written by credit.
Mm-hmm. Can I say Chris Buck?
Chris Buck, yeah.
Chris Buck, for most of these, directed and wrote. Some of them just did one or the other, but most of them did both. Tarzan, Frozen, Frozen 2, and Wish, which is the new Disney movie, like that kind of looks like another Encanto.
Oh, I think I was thinking we were talking about Wish when we were talking about Elio.
Oh, really? Okay. No, Elio is the one where a kid.
Is there
gets
a trailer
sent to
out for Elio?
Yes. I think it's just a teaser trailer
Okay.
though. But yeah, Elio is a kid is accidentally sent to like a galactic
then what's Wish?
Wish, I don't know, is like about a princess or something.
A young girl named Asha who wishes on a star and gets more direct answers than she bargained for when a troublemaking star comes down from the sky to join her. That sounds actually bad. And it actually looks like shit too. The animation looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
We're talking about this man's great career. I don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
He's made some other incredible movies.
Well, he also didn't animate it.
Yeah. But I guess he might have picked the style.
Maybe. I mean, the style just looks like the style of Encanto.
It looks
just
kinda
doesn't look
like-
like it has much of the charm that Encanto
It's
had.
giving me Elemental, which is very like, just kind of like, wow. It's just like not interesting to me.
Yeah.
The way it's animated.
I get you.
It's just kind of like CG, but they try to add a little bit of flourishes, but it doesn't quite have the flourishes of like a Spider-Verse
Yeah.
or like TMNT.
Like
new
they're
one.
trying something new, but the new isn't landing.
Yeah, and
Dude,
like
I
they're
want to
not,
watch that TMNT movie. Apparently,
do
it's like
too.
quite great, but
and they're just not cranking it enough.
Yeah.
They're just like, we're just gonna dip our toe into something interesting, but not go all the way.
it's kind of like what they did with Luca and Turning Red as well, where Pixar was like, you know what, we're gonna try a new animation style, and it's like, okay, I get that it like looks a little different, but you're still doing the same thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're changing some proportions.
It's like, yeah, their mouth shape is different.
I think
now.
the textures in Luca were really cool.
Oh yeah, I think Luca's honestly great. I think it's excellent.
So anyway,
But anyway,
Chris Buck's career.
quite
He's
good.
a Frozen boy.
Yeah, big Frozen.
Wow.
But yeah, those two, they also voiced anytime there's like a cameraman talking, they voiced the cameraman,
Which is kind of cool.
which is kind of fun. Usually I'm like, whatever for like directors who put themselves in, but that's kind of funny that the
Yeah.
filmmakers are the filmmakers in the movie.
And there's some other cool cameos in this movie. I don't even have my book open.
Yeah, there's a lot of the surfers
Like
are
Kelly
voiced by
Slater.
surfers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And modeled after the surfers as well.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah. There's only one moment where you can really tell that, and I think it's when Big Z is talking about being in the tube, which is like a big wave when you're in like the tube of this massive wave, and they kind of like cut away to like a bunch of different surfers talking about being in the tube.
Oh, and it feels like literal documentary.
Yeah,
audio.
so it like fits in. It fits into the style, but that was the only moment where I was like, I can tell that these lines they literally just pulled from actual interviews.
Yeah, it was just from a
with these
30 for
surfers.
30 or something.
Yeah. But it worked. But that's kind of when I was like, wait, are these like actual surfers? And then looked it up, and they were actual surfers. So pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of on a similar note, I like how they also made a lot of those guys, or made some of those guys like the TV analysts, like in the universe, where it's like, oh, these guys are ex-penguin surfers, but now they're penguin surf analysts. It's like, that's something that happens in real life. It just made it feel like, I don't know. The movie feels very real.
Yeah.
For being a penguin movie.
Yeah, it's just how it's shot and how they filmed it and like
Yeah.
recorded the audio and stuff.
Mhm.
And I think there were actually some good bits in it as well. Like I think when he falls off the wave the first time and they do
Yeah.
like the repeats, I think that's pretty funny.
Yeah. There's like a handful. I feel like this is anytime you watch a movie, like especially from the 2000s, where it's like there's a handful of jokes in there that are like, oh, and they made a joke about being in poop.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm fine with
yeah, it's a
poop
kids
jokes,
movie
but
from
like,
the 2000s.
yeah, like
They-
there's a poop joke, there's a fart joke, like
Yeah.
that's but I don't think there's like so many that it takes away. You just kind of
No,
go, oh,
I don't
there's
think
poop,
so at all.
and then it moves on.
Like I think the Chicken Joe stuff is pretty funny as well.
He has the potential to be like a really annoying kind of shit
Yeah.
comedic relief character, but I think he really works.
John Heater's a magician. Put him in Marvel. Make him Mr. Fantastic.
Sure.
Hey guys, so Doctor Doom's here.
He should play Doctor Doom. That would be good.
I like Tank and his bit
Tank
about
Owens,
like
or Tank
yeah,
Evans.
I think
Tank
it's Evan.
Owens.
Owens. I like Tank and his bit about his ladies. How he's got so many ladies, but it's his trophies, and he kisses his trophies, and he wants to fuck his trophies.
Yeah.
I like that.
I didn't realize really, for some reason, because he sounds a lot like Will Arnett.
I thought it was Will Arnett every time, even though I looked it up and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And
It still sounds like Will Arnett.
it's Tank
every time.
Evans.
I wrote Owens. I think it's because in the NBA 2K23 My Career, your rival's name is Shep Owens. So that threw me
Yeah,
off.
your brain got infected by that probably.
But yeah, Tank Evans. Yeah, he's a great character. I thought it was Will Arnett, the audio of him being like, "This is Shaniqua, this one's Leah," like, "These are my girls," or whatever. Like, that audio went viral on TikTok for a while. But I thought it was like from the Lego Batman movie or something, because I thought it was Will Arnett. And then I was watching, I was like, wait a second, that's from this. I should have known that. But
I think I've seen the Lego Batman movie, but I don't remember anything about it.
that's fine.
I think I saw it in theaters.
I haven't seen it. I the most I know about that movie really is that I remember, I think it was IGN maybe released a like Joker ranking list, like best Jokers, and the Lego Batman Zach Galifianakis Joker beat out Jared Leto Joker, and some like DC fans were like, "What the heck? No way, stupid Lego guy!" But anyone that saw the Lego Batman movie were like, "No, he's
or the Jared Leto movies."
Yeah, we're just like, Zach Galifianakis, actually not the worst Joker.
He is twisted though.
Yeah,
that Jared Leto, he's twisted.
He's twisted.
He's sick in the head.
Yeah.
IRL.
But yeah, I just love how much Tank is just like actually just a bad
just
guy.
Like, yeah, bad and stupid.
He's like, yeah, I hate kids. I knock them into the water when I'm surfing.
I love it. It's just such a bad man.
Yeah.
Also Reggie Belafonte, James Woods as Reggie Belafonte. James Woods has like a pretty prolific voice acting career, and also just acting career. Mm-hmm. But he was Hades in Hercules. Which Hercules, I should have picked that. Hercules is incredible.
I've never seen Hercules.
It's amazing.
Maybe we should watch it sometime.
But James Woods is also in like Casino and older like, what's his name? Cronenberg movies and stuff like that. But his voice is so perfect for like animation, because it's such like,
it's very dynamic.
Yeah. And it's just like, you know exactly what this guy is going to be like when you hear him. Yeah. Or like, he fits the character that he's playing so well.
And I mean this in a good way. He makes me hate the guy.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Like, really quick.
But yeah, he's just amazing. The whole cast is pretty great. Like, I think even Shia is pretty good as Cody.
Say what you will about Shia as a guy. I think that, like, well, this was still in his, like, between...
This was, like, Transformers era.
Yeah, this was, like, right at the beginning of Transformers era. Yeah. Well, because, wait, wasn't the first Transformers movie 2008? So I think it might have been right before.
No, it's 2007, same year.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, this was, like, peak Shia, in my opinion.
Yeah, so let me just look up Shia, because we should... I don't know if we're going to do a lot of Shia...
Probably not.
Movie. So let's just do a little retrospective on his career.
Maybe we'll do a Transformers movie at some point, but that's the most I can.
Maybe like not next year, but the year after. If we can't figure out a gimmick, we'll do some sort of thing with some franchises.
Sure.
So Shia starts, his most famous like early role is in Holes. Then he's in a
film. Actually, Holes has potential to show up on the pod at some point.
Okay.
It's a wacky movie.
He's in Charlie Angel's Full Throttle the same year, a Dumb and Dumber sequel that no one watched the same year. He's in iRobot. He's in Constantine. He's just kind of like bumming around. And then
also Even Stevens, obviously.
Yeah, that was before Holes.
Yeah.
But he's like just kind of bumming around in movies, getting parts in some stuff, but nothing really big. Sorry, I'm burping. And then in 2007, he does Disturbia, which is like...
That's the one where he's like a...
He's like a voyeur, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
He's a teenager who's placed on house arrest for assaulting a school teacher and begins to spy on his neighbors.
Right.
Believing one of them to be serial killers. But he's in that, and then Surf's Up, and then Transformers in 2007. Mm-hmm. And then the next year, Indiana Jones Crystal Skull,
Jeez.
Eagle Eye, which I think made like $100 million, $170 million. It's him and Michelle Monaghan on like a plane. Just like a weird thriller that made too much money. Then Transformers 2, Then he's in Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps, and then it's kind of like downhill after 2010. But
Yeah.
there's like 3 years where he was probably the biggest star in Hollywood, and all of his movies were making too much money.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
He very briefly had like a comeback period where he was like in like Peanut Butter Falcon
And American
and
Honey?
Honey Boy,
American Honey.
or what?
I think it's called American Honey.
I thought it was Honey Boy.
Honey Boy?
I'm like 90%
That's
sure
a
it's
fucked
Honey
up
Boy.
name for a movie. Honey Boy?
I'm pretty sure it's Honey Boy.
I'm looking. Oh, it is Honey Boy. What the fuck?
There you go.
What's American Honey then?
I don't know. I think you're thinking American Graffiti or
I think I'm thinking American.
Made.
Yeah, Tom Cruise. We got to do a Tom
I saw
Cruise
that movie
year.
in theaters.
Why?
I don't know. My parents were like, "You guys want to go see a movie?" And we were like, "Sure." And that was like the only option. So we were like, "All right." It was fine. But yeah. So yeah, he had kind of like he started to have a bit of a comeback, and then he did those 2 movies. He showed up on like Hollywood Reporter Actors Roundtable, and then he turned out to be an abusive an abuser. So
And now he's in the new Francis Ford Coppola movie,
is he? Oh dear.
Megapolis.
Anyway,
He's in a movie called Padre Pio. What the hell?
all of that being said, in this movie, while he was still in his peak and not an absolute freak show, he sorry.
This is okay.
He
Gave a
he's
pretty,
great in this movie.
Yeah, it's a pretty like subtle but effective voice performance.
He's perfect for like a kind of cocky but like also self-conscious like nervous kid.
Yeah.
His voice kind of like perfectly matches what the character is, and I think the delivery's kind of perfect. Because he's got that like, oh, I don't know, what do you want to like? It's literally the Sam Witwicky character, but a little bit less annoying. I think he's a little more.
He's
chilled
giving
out.
Sam Witwicky
A little bit, but a bit more chilled out. I think he's great. Obviously, we got to talk about. I was about to say John Goodman.
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges. There it is. Where he's basically kind of playing his Big Lebowski character here. But the character of Big Z is like really interesting. He's like he's like the goat of surfing in the movie. Like everyone looks up to him. He's like undefeated, but then he has a tragic accident and dies and disappears.
Or so they say.
One thing I did find interesting is that Cody is like the biggest Big Z fan of all time, and then he hangs out with people call him Geek for like 2 days and doesn't realize he's Big Z until he like sees him like go back to like his original like house or whatever, and he's like reminiscing whatever, and he's like, and then I realized he's Big Z, which is I think is great. Where he's like, and I knew that he just needed some space,
And then he runs up, you're Big Z, but you're Big Z.
which is kind of a callback to the beginning where he talks about Big Z visiting the Arctic, and he's like, and he came right up to me and gave me a one-of-a-kind necklace. But it shows the footage while he's saying that, and he actually bursts through a crowd to be first in line for him to see him, and he gives him a necklace out of about 50 that he had. So it's like a bit. It's funny to hear the revisionist history, but then see what actually happened. Anyway, but like,
how did they get that footage of Big Z being there?
yeah, crazy. It's found footage.
It's like Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
Yeah.
That's what
The
this
exact
movie's like,
same,
actually.
Yeah. Wow,
But,
that's actually impressive. I'm surprised that we came to that conclusion. Anyway, that's a great episode.
Sorry.
Sorry.
But it's interesting that he doesn't realize that he's Big Z for like 2 days. But then at the end, when Big Z like comes onto the beach and everybody
Comes on.
I knew you were gonna. I knew you just love cum too much. We're moving on. But everyone, don't look at me like that. I don't even know what that look is. It's just emotionless and blank. I'm looking away. But Big Z goes onto the beach, and everybody sees him, and everybody immediately realizes it's Big Z. Like everyone knows right away.
Yeah, that was a little interesting.
I
but
wonder if that's just because Cody only ever saw Big Z when he was a kid, but all of these people are people who like knew him when he was younger. I don't know. Anyway, that was just interesting. But Big Z is a very interesting character. I like his journey and like slowly
him
opening
slowly
up.
coming back to the world.
Yeah.
Because he sees potential in this young man.
He's just been
and
living in this
kindness
tree.
of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Cody and Big Z both needed each other to break each other out of what they were in. Like, Cody's a very self-centered person. He literally starts the movie by talking about himself so much, but then the movie ends with him being like, literally saying like, anyway, yeah, it was a great day. I'm kind of sick of talking to myself. You guys mind if I just like jump in the water? And they're like, yeah, man. And it's like, that's kind of the full circle moment of like, that's Cody's like progression wrapped up.
Yeah.
Big Z's progression wrapping up is him being on the beach and basically telling Reggie to fuck off and being like, I'm not a legend, I'm just some guy looking for the next big wave, or whatever he says. And then they just go to the beach and they surf, and it's like, that's kind of their whole thing. Anyway,
It's a nice, sweet movie. It wraps up effectively. So,
well, can I just say quick base things about the movie
sure.
that I didn't do at the beginning? We haven't mentioned Zooey Deschanel at all.
That's what I was just going to mention.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Lonnie. I can't tell what you're going to say next. I thought you were going to jump into the end.
Lonnie feels like Zooey Deschanel's character from Elf.
Was she in Elf?
Yeah, she's an Elf.
I had
She's the
no
love
idea.
interest in Elf. She's also a New Girl. Ever watch that, fucker? I watched
I
New
mostly know
Girl.
her from, was it 100 Days of Summer?
500 Days
500
of Summer.
Days of Summer.
You mostly know her from that?
Yeah.
You should watch New Girl. New Girl's good.
You know what you telling me to watch New Girl's going to do?
Not make you watch New Girl.
It's going to make me not watch New Girl.
Brother, I'm going to shove something up your ass tonight.
That's kind of a given.
Don't say that like I don't do it. Oh, wait. Typo.
Tricked you.
I think she's fine. She doesn't really do much. She doesn't really have much to do.
I think her voice is
honestly.
very good for what the character is.
Yeah.
It's just like with a name like Zooey Deschanel, you'd expect her to be in it more.
But
she
2007.
I guess so.
Elf was 2003. She didn't really do too much. Like, her big thing kind of is New Girl. And 500 Days of Summer a little bit. But, like, New Girl is, like, where she kind of became a household name.
Yeah.
Because 500 Days of Summer is, like, a pretty big movie that not a lot of people talk about.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like a movie that, like, people... I feel like it's, like, in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
But, like, no one is, like, constant... It's not a heavily referenced movie.
It's not even the best Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie.
Well, no, the best
That's
Joseph
obviously Don
Gordon-Levitt
John.
movie is Don John.
Yeah, because he's a little masturbating freak.
Yeah.
And obviously
he wrote I don't know if he wrote it, but I know
think
he
he wrote
directed that movie, and then he cast Scarlett Johansson opposite him.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. We see what you're doing,
Who would
Joseph.
you cast opposite you in a masturbatory drama?
Can I cast cartoon characters?
Sure, brother.
Elastigirl, I guess. I guess if I have to. If I have to choose one, I guess I'll choose Elastigirl.
That's the one you want to... That's okay. You can choose her.
I
It's
guess
fine.
so. You're kind of twisting my arm here, but I guess I'll go with Elastigirl.
All right, man. That's cool.
How about you?
My wife.
Good answer, brother. Slap me some skin.
Oh, well, you didn't say Olivia, so he slapped my leg.
Yeah, but I'm not married. That
Oh,
makes
there
it
we
seem
go.
like I'm available, which I'm not.
He's not available mentally.
Here's the
or
thing. My
physically.
answer was safe too, though, because I chose a cartoon. So it's fine.
You want to watch Fury tonight? Just vibe out to
Not
Fury.
really. Fury was another one that was worth mentioning,
Yeah,
I guess.
that's just one. But that was like in a weird zone where you're like, oh, Shia LaBeouf's in this movie. Oh, he tore his teeth out or something and
Yeah.
cut his face open.
Yeah, that was a weird one. But anyway, Zooey Deschanel as Lonnie. Like we said, she's not in it a whole lot, but I do think she brings I think the heart to the movie a little bit, where she kind of like brings Cody out of his like cool shell a little bit, and he's a bit more genuine, which allows him to be a bit more genuine with Big Z, which breaks him out of his shell.
She kind of injects a little emotion into this masculine movie.
Yeah.
Because the movie's really about dudes and their dude stuff.
Yeah,
and
their
dude
dude
problems.
emotions, and yeah.
Which makes sense for a surfing movie, because surfing is dudes and doing dude. Not that it's only dude stuff, but like the vision of surfing in the early 2000s is dudes doing dude stuff.
Yeah,
and
which
saying
watching
dude
this movie
things.
really makes me like, man, if there's one thing that I wish I could do, wish I was good at, and know I'll probably never do or ever be good at, it's surfing.
Why don't you just do it though? Ben?
How?
What do you mean?
I live in Canada, brother.
Go to like a indoor pool or something and
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
Hop on a
I want to
bikini
be in the
bottom.
tube.
How come I receive all your toes? Like, you give it a bed and a hoe and a hoe and a have it a hoe. That's Ice Spice.
Hibbita habita habita ho.
I don't know the words to the song. Bikini
Yeah,
Bottom.
clearly.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay, 3 more characters to address.
Ugh!
Chicken Joe. He's just fun. He like goes and meets some cannibals who are going to eat him, but then he shows them shrimp, I think.
No, it's like squid.
And they're like, tastes like chicken, so they won't eat the chicken because they have something that
He
tastes
becomes
like
the
chicken.
ruler.
Yeah. But my favorite thing about Chicken Joe is he's just like instinctively kind, but also completely oblivious always. Like, he kind of just falls into being okay.
He was surfing on Lake Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he's from Sheboygan, Michigan.
We got Lake Ontario somewhere around here.
And he never knew his dad because his dad was turned into fried chicken. What did it say? Chicken Bob 6-piece combo. Yeah, which I thought was very funny. But yeah, I don't know. Chicken Joe's really fun. He's a very good friend to Cody. I like at the end when he wins and he's like, "Yeah, I'm so thankful for Cody for saving me and helping me to keep going in the competition." And they're like, "How do you feel about winning?" And he's like, "I won." It's like,
because
yeah,
Chicken
man.
Joe is like transcended. Big
Yeah.
Z, where all the characters want to get to a place where they're like Chicken Joe, where they're just surfing for the fun of it. It's just a good time. They're just having a good time.
Big
living
Z is
life.
the closest to Chicken Joe.
Chicken Joe is transcended.
Yeah.
He's reached nirvana.
Well, because I thought, like, because when I watched this again a couple years ago, I had forgotten who actually won the competition. I knew that Cody didn't win, but I was like, either Cody doesn't win, but then there's some technicality and he wins anyway, or Tank Owens wins, but it's one of the, or Tank Evans wins, and it's one of those things where it's like, but no one respects his win, like in Cars.
Yeah, like he does something dirty or something.
Yeah, like in Cars, the green guy, a chick McClick or whatever the fuck his name is.
I don't know.
Chick
I'm not
Hicks,
watching Cars.
I think. But like he wins the final race and he's like, "Yeah, I won," but everyone's like, "We don't care cuz the story with Lightning McQueen and the Dynaco guy, like that's more interesting. People care about that more." I thought that's what it was. But Chicken Joe winning is kind of perfect.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, because it's like obviously the guy who cares the absolute least and just happens to be here is the winner. I don't know. It just works really well. I like it. 2 other characters. One is, what's his name? The little bird.
I don't know what his name is.
I think it's Max.
Brother,
Something like that.
you're asking me to... I barely know your name.
But I actually really like that character. He's like the talent scout. Reggie Belafonte gets all the credit, but like...
Glenn?
What?
No, Glenn is the brother, sorry.
Yeah, Glenn is the brother. I think it's Max.
Mikey?
It was Mikey. Mikey's like a little bird. And he's the one going out on this big whale, trying to like scout for talent and getting everybody.
I like the whale.
I do also like the whale. And then he's also the one like building all of the like sets for this competition while Reggie Belafonte just like drinks mimosas, I guess.
Oh my god.
But there's a line at the end where everyone's leaving the beach and Reggie Belafonte gets his wig ripped off or his toupee ripped off by Mikey.
I like that.
And Reggie goes, Mikey, you're so fired, or something like that. And Mikey goes, I've never had a better day, or something like that. And then it goes right into like, or whatever. The soundtrack to this movie, it's so 2000s.
Yeah, it's something, huh?
Like at the beginning when Cody gives his little monologue. What do you want me to acknowledge this?
What? Look at it.
Okay.
It's Zoe Deschanel and her property brother that she has.
Hi, this is my property brother.
Sorry, I just realized that. I remember that like every 6 months that
Yeah.
she's married to a property brother or something.
It is interesting. But Cody does his little monologue at the beginning where he's like, I don't understand why people are so judgmental. I understand why mom's judgmental. I think it's because she cares partially. I think it's also partially because everybody's looking at her like, what's Cody's doing? Oh, Cody's this, Cody's that. Cody's me, bro. Let me be me. When's that going to start? And then it immediately goes into whatever tomorrow brings up. And it's like, man.
It's like they got like one of those compilation CDs for like best of 2006.
Literally, yeah.
And they got it for cheap and they're like, play them all. Put them all in the movie.
It's interesting because we mentioned Transformers because Shia was in that as well. And it came out around the same time. Both of those, like Surf's Up and the first Transformers movies, the soundtracks are like so...
Well, because there's like
2007.
All American Rejects on the Transformers one, I think.
It's mostly Green Day.
Oh, and Green
And
Day,
Link,
right.
I
But there's
think
Green Day in this movie, too.
Yeah. It's insane. I think it works most of the time. It does take me out for a second just because, like, they're such, like, distinct songs.
Yeah, they're not subtle at all.
No.
There's no subtlety to a Green Day song.
But I kind of love it a little bit. But anyway, last character I want to address, and then we can move on, and that is Arnold, the little penguin who keeps trying to kill himself so that Lonnie comes and saves him. He keeps trying to drown. What'd you think of Arnold?
He's a cute little guy, you know?
I remember as a kid him being my favorite.
How could he not be? Look at him. He's a small boy.
But
And
I'm sorry. I thought you were done because there was a pause.
I thought you were done because there was a pause. Story of my fucking life.
Okay, what were you going to say?
He's a cute little boy, and I like that he gets beat up and he tries to drown himself so he can make out with a girl. That's hot. That's how you do it. That's how I did it. Drown yourself, risk your life, maybe get a kiss on the lips.
Yeah. Kiss on the beak, maybe.
I didn't have a beak.
We don't actually get a kiss between Lonnie and Cody, but we almost do. And then in the background, you see Arnold go, stop, and then jump into the water to try and... Anyway, I just think that Arnold's a funny character. What'd you think of the little, like, confessional interview bits with the 3 kids specifically?
I thought they were pretty funny.
Yeah.
I like them. I don't know. I think this movie's just, like, pretty funny. It's got a lot of funny little bits in it.
Yeah.
I like when the one little guy farts. That's good.
Okay.
That's cool.
It's very charming. Apparently, like, almost all of those, like... Not just the kids, but a lot of the confessional stuff was all like improvised.
That's sick.
Completely.
I like that. I feel like, have you ever watched like the Christopher Guest movies, like Best in Show or Spinal Tap,
No.
or Waiting for Guffman, Looking for Guffman?
I have
Something like
not.
that. Those are all improvised.
Yeah.
And it's like pretty fun because you're just like, oh, these guys are like crazy. They're coming up with crazy shit.
Yeah.
But I think it works well a little bit for animation because there is like a thing that I've mentioned to you where it's like if a movie is a very rigidly made, kind of like I feel like I'm just shitting on Kubo all the time. But where it's like Kubo is like they have to be so precise with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like the fact that this movie feels imprecise is kind of what makes me like it more.
Yeah.
Where it's like a little bit sloppy and like the camera feels like it's got some human element to it and their dialogue is a little like natural and overlapping and their bodies move in this sort of interesting and like fluid way, as opposed to like.
Well, even if we go back to The Incredibles, great film, but like
Rigid and not fluid, influid. Sorry, I was just finishing my point.
don't
Okay, here's the thing.
yeah.
I love you. You interrupted me when I said as opposed to, and then you interrupted me. There's just like 3 words left there.
Go. Let's do a rewind here. You can start the last sentence over completely.
I don't remember what I was going to say now.
You whispered it into the mic.
I just whispered anything.
Oh, that's not even words.
Voldemort.
Don't lie.
Voldemort.
But even in The Incredibles, when they are doing their argument, it's kind of just them yelling over each other rather than like it's like one person says one thing, next person says another thing. One person says one thing, and then sometimes they're yelling on top of each other, but it doesn't really feel like they're
yelling at
reacting
each
to
other.
the other person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas here it does, which I think is it's refreshing. It feels very
Yeah. It's just nice.
Yeah.
It's like you watch The Office and you're like, oh, this is an interesting way to do something. And it's interesting that they took that like feeling and were able to capture it so well in animation.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like it would be a hard thing to do. And I bet you it was a hard thing to like actually get done. But they did it very well. And
Yeah.
I'm surprised that there hasn't been a little bit more of this.
Yeah.
But
Not
what are
even
you gonna do?
like the mockumentary style, but just like having voice actors record together so that you can get a more natural delivery and cadence and stuff. Like I mentioned, like there's some projects that have done it before, but like even the Clone, I will always vouch for the Clone Wars show, but like even in that show, you don't really. It's not to the point where you notice like, oh wow, this dialogue is so free flowing or anything like it is here.
well, because they're probably on a bit of a stricter schedule with it being a TV show
yeah,
too, because they have to like turn it around.
yeah.
Are we able to get into questions, or do you have things
Let
you
me
haven't
just real
said?
quick see. I
I have one thing.
Sure.
They just used Arial in the fucking credits for the text. That's
Oh,
just
sure.
Arial.
Yeah.
Didn't want to find a different font, brother?
I don't know, man.
One of the most boring.
Fonts?
No, just like end credits I've seen. Black screen, some little hand-drawn shit.
Yeah, but like unless the credits in a movie are like really good, the credits of the movie are not going to like change my opinion of the movie.
It doesn't change my opinion. I just noticed like
Yeah.
they put no effort into them.
Yeah.
Like literally none. I was just surprised to be like, oh, it's Arial font and like pixel art. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's literally like white. Isn't it literally like white drawings?
Yeah, it's just like white painted drawings or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's pretty boring. Yeah. Yeah. It's
So I was just like, wow, they like did not care about this part.
Yeah.
Which they might have gone over budget or something, or just
Maybe.
not had enough time.
Which I haven't even mentioned. The budget of the movie was $100 million. It grossed $152 million, so it didn't even like do that great.
Yeah, I guess that's why the second one has WrestleMania attached to it.
Yeah, definitely. That's it. I mean, that was a direct to like DVD
Video sequel.
or direct to video. But I honestly think most of how much money it made is probably because it came a year after Happy Feet. It was just one of those things where like a movie comes out really close to another movie that's like similar, and
Yeah, and Happy Feet was big too.
yeah, Happy Feet was quite big.
Yeah, it got like Oscar nominated
Yeah.
and stuff, didn't it? Did this get nominated for any Oscars?
It was nominated for Best Animated Feature.
Yeah, but it didn't win, did it?
No, it lost to I'm not even gonna try and guess, but it was some.
Let me
Oh, it lost to
guess.
Ratatouille.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think Ratatouille's better. Ratatouille. I just came up with that right now.
That's insane.
I can't. Oh my god! Cut that out. Cut that out. We need to save that. I got to do something with that. I got to put that on a shirt or something.
Here's the thing. I agree, but save it for what?
I got to put that on a shirt or something like that.
You can still put it on a shirt. If
2008. Wait, no. 2007. Persepolis and Surf's Up lost to Ratatouille. Bradley Bird. Wow. Bradley Bird really does like to win the Oscars, huh?
Yeah. I have 2 more things.
Bradley Bird.
And then we can get into questions if you're down.
Coco.
So just adding to the documentary style of the movie, they applied like film grain, which isn't really a thing in animation. They usually don't do that at all because they want to keep it crisp, but they applied film grain. And honestly, it kind of like makes it look... It kind of makes the animation look a bit more realistic. Something I noticed is like even Cody wearing his Big Z necklace, there's like some... It's not fur. It's like down, whatever it's called. But there's like little hairs going over the string a little bit so that it looks like... Because you're like, obviously, if he put that on, it would kind of like sink into him a little bit. And I actually thought of that, and it actually looks good. I don't know. It's just little things like that. The film grain.
I think there's a lot of animation that it just looks too clean, and it's too bad to be looking as clean as it does.
Yeah.
Like, I think The Incredibles has a bit of this.
A little bit.
Where
they're very smooth.
They're very smooth, and the backgrounds are very, like, not great all the time. There's some times where they're incredible, but also other times where you're just kind of like, oh, that's like kind of ugly.
Well, yeah, there's a shot where, not to talk about last week's movie, but
Well,
there's
we
a
barely
shot
talked
where,
about it last week anyway.
That's true. There's a shot where Helen is like holding Jack, but also trying to do dishes or something when she's on the phone with Bob, and like she's standing in front of the window. The window looks horrible.
Yeah.
Like the outside environment, you can barely see it. It's like blurry and shit. It looks horrible. But then they get onto this big jungle island. It looks incredible. Like it looks awesome. So like, I don't know. It's like...
I'm realizing how bad of a job we did on The Incredibles one.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Because here's the thing that they did to try and make it all manageable. Because it was like the biggest, like most different scenes animated movie of all time.
Yeah.
For the time. They would like build a set, and then on that same like file, they would also build like this section of the, like a separate section of the, for like a different scene.
Okay.
So instead of having
So it was the same rendered different scenes, kind of.
Yeah. So like they have a big file where it's like, it's the island here, so we can do shots with the island. But then if you turn around, it's like the little room with the magma or something.
Okay.
But also like just to, I guess, to save file space, they would use one. I'm not really sure. I don't really know too much about animation, if I'm being honest. But I know that they like combined some stuff so they could make it a little easier on themselves.
Yeah. Anyway, hopefully that's enough of a remedy to last week's episode being kind of ass.
I think there's also a bit of it where it's like TVs have gotten so good where like animation can look like shit now.
Yeah.
Anyway, questions. Are you ready for that?
I had one last thing, and it was Roger Ebert's review of this movie.
Roger.
We gotta always check in with Raj if we can.
Yeah.
He said, the originality of the documentary format, coupled with the splendid CGI effects, qualifies Surf's Up as not just another Penguin movie.
Nice.
Which was pretty... I think that's...
I'm glad Raj liked it.
Same.
Who's your favorite surfer?
Like...
Either.
Real life or in the movie?
Well, you don't have a real life favorite.
I don't have a real life one. I guess, what's her name? Lost an Arm? Becky something?
Soul
Becky
Surfer?
Hamilton? Whatever it is.
That Christian propaganda?
Oh, no.
I think her name is Becky Hamilton or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe that might be the assistant.
No, that's Becky
Spurs.
Hammond.
Oh, okay.
And she's the head coach of the...
Aces or something?
Aces, yeah. Who won again? Congratulations.
Oh, surprise, surprise. Dynasty alert.
Bethany Hamilton, I think, is the...
I don't care.
It doesn't matter. So in the movie, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
It might honestly be Cody. I think Big Z and Chicken Joe are really cool. I like the guy, the macaroni penguin with like the hair in front of his face. He's kind of cool. Because I also like he comes up to Cody like after he hits his first big wave in the competition. He's like, nice, Cody looked good, or whatever. That was fucking bad, but I got your eyes, huh? That was really nice, Cody. That was really nice.
I'm actually hitting it right now.
Yeah. Do it one more time.
That's Australian.
Sound like an alien, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably say Cody. How about you? Tank Evans? You kind of give off Tank Evans vibe.
I think either Tank Evans or Chicken Joe.
Yeah. Good picks.
And I like Tank Evans because he's violent. I like violence. I gotta go to the mothership tonight. What would your surfer name be? I think mine would be like Radical Wave.
What do you mean surfer name? Did anyone have surfer names?
Big Z.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but like it's
He's
kind of
the
like
only one. Cody's not. Oh, I guess they just call Cody Maverick.
Well, they call. I think.
Mine would just be Adam.
What does penguin hand bone structure look like?
Hand bone structure?
They have fingers?
I think it's just meat.
I
I think it's just like flesh.
That's interesting.
I don't know if there's bones. I think it's just. I don't know.
There gotta be bones if they're using their fingers.
What do you mean using their fingers?
Look it up.
I'm gonna look up penguin skeleton.
That'll give you some fucked up results. What is this?
Oh no, they do have bones. They have like a single bone.
Single boner? They're single boners.
Well, because they have a single bone and then the rest is all like flubber or not.
Interesting.
Flubber,
I like
blubber.
that. Would you like to see a live action Surf's Up?
No. No.
Why
I
not? Here's the pitch. Here's the pitch. Okay. Jon Favreau.
I was just about to say Jungle Book. Lion King.
You get the king of animation to IRL, Jon Favreau.
Okay.
You get, as Cody Maverick, Ryan Reynolds. As Big Z, you get Anthony Hopkins.
This is bad, man.
As Lonnie, who's an inappropriate age gap for Ryan Reynolds?
Millie Bobby Brown.
Perfect. As Tank, how
Will
about this?
Arnett.
No. Drake.
Fucking kill me. Oh.
That's good. Bring the kids in. As Chicken Joe,
Can I tell you something?
Snoop Dogg.
I was about to say one of the worst castings you could have possibly given that. Snoop Dogg as Chicken Joe isn't bad.
Yeah, that just makes sense, though.
And then I don't want a live action.
But Reggie Belafonte, Timothy Chalamet.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, if he can play Wonka.
Okay, brother. If he can play Wonka, he can play anything. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Okay? And he's making it in Wonkaville. That movie's going to be
If you can make it out of Shiverpool.
What's Shiverpool?
That's where Cody lived.
Oh. I thought that was something to do with Timmy Chalamet.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Adam Driver.
Ooh, I didn't really think about this. Glenn Maverick, his brother.
Oh, my recasting in my live action version for Glenn.
Don't wanna.
For Glenn, Paul Walter Hauser.
That's actually good.
And for his mom, Tim Robinson doing the accent
That's
of a
good.
woman. Yeah.
That's good, actually.
I would say, I guess Glenn's a good one. I could see him doing a Tank in a different way, but I think Tank
it would
is
have
done
to be
so
less
well.
obnoxious douche and more like
cool guy douche.
Cool guy douche, yeah.
But I think Glenn's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Now, brother, pull up the keep file.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
This could actually ruin my entire night.
I haven't really thought about
more than
this.
my night's actually been ruined already.
I haven't really.
Do you want me to
thought about...
type in this while you're typing?
What?
Should I type in the document while you're typing?
I'd say maybe leave it up to me because the last couple episodes we've both tried to do it and it's ruined.
I'm gonna see what happens.
Okay, I'm just gonna
I'm gonna play it by ears.
I'm gonna suggest not typing in it.
So I think I had to say the last time, right?
Yeah.
So you got to give me your pitch.
Here's the thing. Originally, I wanted it to be like the person who didn't pick the movie says theirs first, because that makes sense to me. But we've gotten out of sync, and it's not working that way, so I'm fine to say. I haven't really thought about this, though. Where do I want to put this genuinely? Because I got to be realistic, but I also got to be honest with myself and with my heart.
Adam, look down. See what you saw there?
What, a boner? Is that what you're going to say?
Why you got a boner? Why would you have a boner?
I don't know,
because
because you told me to look down.
We're doing a
I'm sitting
podcast
down.
about penguins. Why do you have
what
a boner?
else is down? What were you suggesting?
Your heart. Look into your
down
heart.
at my heart?
Look into your
Yeah,
heart.
right. You were telling me to look at my boner.
Adam, look down. Big old blue balls.
There you go.
Be true to yourself.
You want me to truly be true to myself?
Be true to the one that you love. That's all I'll say. That's it. That's all I got. Okay? But just...
Because can I be... Where I say I'm going to place it is going to be based on, do I like this movie more, right?
Sure.
Like, would I rather
discuss
watch
it.
this movie than...
Is that how you've been doing the list so far?
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of how I've been doing it a
Well,
little bit.
I like do like 80% my opinion, 20% objective.
Oh, okay,
like,
yeah. That's about what I do.
where it's like, I got to consider like the movie
That's about what
itself,
I do,
but
yeah.
also mostly it's how I feel.
That's about where I'm going through right now, yeah.
So I want to put this at number 10, right under Black Klansman.
Brother,
Yep.
it's kind of what I was thinking.
Really?
Yeah.
Wowzers. I was not anticipating this.
Look, here's the thing.
Because here's the thing. I see Black Klansman. I'm like, sorry.
It's fine. I don't care.
I see Black Klansman and I'm like, I like Surf's Up more. I can't put it above Black Klansman.
Black Klansman is a lot better. I
Yeah.
do have a bit. I feel a bit about putting it over The Thing. A little bit. But also there is a lot of craft in this movie that I think someone coming to this list and just looking at it, like, will be like, why the fuck would they put Surf's Up? But there's
Yeah.
like a lot of craft in
Yeah.
this animated movie. And
It's
like,
not like we're putting...
it's not like,
I was about to say
Hood-
Clifford, the big red dog.
I mean,
Like,
it's not like it's hoodwinked or something.
Sure.
Where it's just kind of like,
well, it's not even like it's
Dog.
Kubo or like Turning Red. It's like
Yeah.
it has a bit... It has more something than those movies. And those movies
Yeah.
are really good. You're really good with putting it to 10?
I think so, brother.
Holy shit, I was not anticipating this. This is way better than I could have hoped for.
Oh my God. Did you just cum your pants?
Close.
I knew you had a boner.
I'm on
man.
the edge.
I knew you had a boner.
Wow. It's probably not going to last long, but Surf's Up is in the top 10 of the of our movies list.
We're coming up on
That's
50
nuts.
movies here.
Yeah. That's crazy. That is crazy. So wow, so far for Animation Month, Kubo at 23, not a bad place.
Dog
But,
shit.
Incredibles and Surf's Up both in the top 10. That's pretty nuts. This will be the last thing I say, then we can wrap up. I'm genuinely really glad you liked this movie. I didn't even want you to like, I wasn't hoping or expecting that you'd put it high on the list. I just wanted you to at least like it, because I think that
I liked it.
I think it's become a bit more appreciated over the past
He's
couple of years,
crying.
but
You starting to cry?
I think it's a somewhat underappreciated, somewhat forgotten movie, and
He's licking his tears.
I hope that people consider watching it again, because it's very unique
He's
and very
calling
fun.
his mom?
Do I wrap it up because it's my episode?
Yeah,
or-
you do. You go,
All right.
and this is and all the time. That's what you got to do. That's your job.
Oh, can I just one last thing?
Oh.
Promise this is the last thing. When Cody first goes against Tank Evans just in like a fun match, and then he does the fall, and then he like hits a fire urchin, and they're talking about taking the fire urchin out, and it's like, man, this fire urchin really messed you up. And then it cuts to a confessional of the fire urchin. He's like, I messed him up. You look at me. Look at these. And he's pointing at all these like spikes coming out. And he's like, broken, missing, broken.
That was good.
I thought that was funny. And last thing was...
I like when he pisses on him, too.
Yeah, when he pees on him, that's a classic. But when they find Big Z's old like surf hut, and Cody's like, these are Big Z's boards. And he's like freaking out. And then he's like, he rode this board in the Australian Open or something like that. Something about him just like saying things like that. I don't know. It just having like random things like that, like,
Does it get
the
you
Australian Open of the Penguin Surfing League or whatever. I don't know. Just makes it feel very real, very fun. I like this movie a lot. That's the episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode. Hopefully you watched Surf's Up. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed us talking to it. This episode, at least in my opinion, has been leaps and bounds better than last episode.
Yeah, we were in a mood for the Incredibles.
We were in a mood for the Incredibles one.
I gotta smack you up when we get off this episode.
Yeah, probably.
So the next one is bad.
Here's the thing. There was an episode a while back where we were like, that was a bad one. And then I listened back to it and it was like, it wasn't that bad. I'm hoping that's the case here, but I think genuinely the episode wasn't.
We might have to re-cred. Or like when we do Incredibles 2, do a little Incredibles 1 stuff.
Yeah, we'll do like we'll do a like tight 15 on the first.
We'll do a tight 30 on Incredibles 1 and then a tight 240 on Incredibles 2.
240.
Well, there's a lot of Elastigirl porno stuff in that one.
Okay, well,
there we are. We're back at it.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Love you, appreciate you. Next episode will be
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, Miles.
It's another great one.
What are you doing? Don't.
You got to finish what you were saying.
Sorry.
You started.
Miles, did you just join the Spider-Verse?
What? That's Penny Parker. Or Penny Parker? Penny Parker? Is that Penny Parker?